to the virtual groom room. My name is Jack, your host, and today I'm bringing you another shaving video. And my soap of choice today is going to be limited edition release by Noble Otter, and this is Jungle Warrior. This is a collaboration with Australian Artisan, Australian Private Reserve. Many people have issues with APR. I've only ever had good experience with them. I understand why you would have issues with APR, but yeah, so. I mean, not everyone has a clean track record in this industry by any means. I can think of quite a few names off the top of my head, but we're not going to go there. Again, in normal Noble Otter fashion, the labeling is absolutely outstanding. The artist that designs his stuff is some of the best you see in the industry completely. The scent of this, the way I would describe it, is a spicy fougere. It's not your standard really green fougere. There are certain elements. There's also, to my nose, a little bit of incense as well. It's a very nice scent. I'd say, I go as far as to say it's one of my favorites Noble Otter have released. My razor of choice today is going to be the Christopher Bradley from Karve Shaving Co., and this is in their aluminium. This is SBC, so 0.85 blade gap. The blade exposure is the first baseplate that has any positive blade exposure. So yeah, that's going to be my shave. And then my brush is new in the den here. Let me shake it out a bit so you can see. First thing I want you to see is look at those tips. Those are very, very gel. This is a TurnnShave custom. I call it Abyss. Black and white, really nice. The handle is very ergonomic, really easy to hold. Let's give you another little close up there. Let's get it to focus. Thank you, iPhone. So as you can see, it's very, very nice. Yeah, that's my shave today, and my post shave is just going to be the matching splash. I might use a bit of balm depending on how my skin feels at the end of the shave. Apart from that, let me go away, wet my face, prep my gear, and I'll see you guys for lathering up. I'll be right back. Okay, so the brush has been loaded. Let's wet the face and we'll get to lathering. I haven't long woken up, so I'm still a bit tired, but that's fine. How have you guys been doing? I've been doing really well. Look at the load on this knot. So I didn't say this when I was introducing the brush. This is a 30mm knot, which is pretty big. I've used it a couple of times now, and it does a very good job. It can hold a lot of lather, as you'll see. I loaded this for about 45 seconds. The scent strength on this soap is fantastic. It's probably about I'd say a 7, which is nice. I enjoy that. I have quite a lot of experience with the soap base, so I kind of know how to use it. You would all know this is definitely one of my favorites. So Noble Otter but they are one of the only artisans that actually perfume their scents. There are a few. I'm not going to name the ones who don't, because that would be a dick move. The difference is a lot of artisans use pre-made fragrance oils, I believe. And that's fine because the scents are still good, but there's a bit more skill that goes into perfuming a scent. and Noble Otter is one of them, and so is APR. So both of the contributors to this, they both have a hand in perfuming. And that's why you don't see Noble Otter releasing 10 soaps a year. Because, well, I mean, it's generally harder to make sense, frankly. And that is the way I would put it. Don't get me wrong. I think there are loads of ways of making sense for soap. And if you choose to do it a different route, then all power to you. There's some very good artisans that don't perfume and make fantastic soaps. So really, I don't have much of a problem with it at all, to be honest. It is what it is. You can just see the size of this knot, it's massive. But you can see it whips up a lather pretty quick. This is a somewhat thirsty base. People call it really thirsty. I don't think I'd agree, but it is thirsty. Okay. Let's get some of the excess off here. And we'll begin to paint. It's very well hydrated at the moment. I'm kind of thankful because of the knot size, I've not made loads of mess. I mean, I've made mess, but it wouldn't go down as loads of mess for me. I've seen much, much worse. There we go. Lovely lather. Paint a bit of water in here, as it can still take a bit. I mean, it's been hydrated very well, I can tell you that much already. But you know me, every little helps, as Tesco would say. Very nice. I don't know if the camera shows the gloss, but there's really nice gloss. Lather test. That is the consistency I look for. I mean, you can't argue with that, can you really? Beautiful lather. All that I would expect from a Noble Otter soap. It's one of my favorites, and yeah. It's just a pleasure to work with. Okay, Karve Christopher Bradley with the C plate in aluminum. The blade I have in this is a fresh Gillette Nacet. Let's get to shaving. Super slick. I would say, because of the lack of weight, the aluminum is definitely more mild in terms of face fill, if you like that sort of thing. I mean, if you don't put pressure, the razor feels very, very light. I'd be inclined to put a little bit. Because it is so light. But again, like anything, don't go overboard. For me, this is the perfect razor if you're in a bit of a rush, because even if you are a bit ham-fisted, it's forgiving. The C-plate really is where it is for me. Very nice. I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but I don't know if I've told you already actually, we have a new puppy. His name is Giles. He's a wire-haired Dachshund. If I remember, which I very might not, I'll include a photo of him somewhere. If not, pull me up on it and I'll make sure I do it in the next video. Wow, okay. Yeah, that's a fantastic first pass. The scent definitely sticks around, which is nice. I enjoy that. Let's get the hands a bit wet here and we'll do a Michael Friedberg rinse. Actually, he does this, doesn't he? Good guy, Michael Friedberg. I've dealt with him with Karve and he's just a good dude. Very enthusiastic about the hobby. And that's something I always like to see. Okay, let's get into the second, lathering out for the second pass here. There's still loads of soap left in this brush, as there would be, just because of the general size of the knot. We'll see if it can take a little bit more water. I think it will, but you never know until you try, right? Okay. All we're going to do here is dip the tips a little bit, get them wet. No. Yeah, it can take some more water, which is never a bad thing, as I consistently say. I like the idea of being able to add a bit more water on subsequent passes. I mean, I've used this soap base so much that I knew it would be able to take a bit more. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Volume on the first pass is fine because it adds a bit of protection when you're taking down the vast majority of facial hair. But now volume is, in my opinion, somewhat unnecessary. All you really need now is just a slick layer of your face, I would say. Okay. Let's go cross grain here. The thing I like about this soap base, it has this nice protective fatty layer that a lot of soaps don't, and just leaves you, the post shave on it is wonderful. And my personal love for this space means we stock it at Karve. I really enjoy this space. It's probably not the most elite soap base in terms of performance anymore. But certainly in terms of several different aspects, it's still absolutely wonderful. And I mean, I have 6 or 7 of them here, so that's how much I like it. This C plate is really the sweet spot for me, I think. Especially on this razor, on the B and on the brass and the stainless. The B is also very fine, but because of the lack of weight here, I think just going exclusively with the C kind of makes up for the lack of efficiency with the lack of weight. One hybrid pass here, which for me is pretty much straight down. Okay, great shave. Let's rinse the razor off here. Let's get all the loose soap from the brush, shall we? There's going to be quite a lot. Yeah, that's quite a bit. I think I underestimate quite how much water Milton's knots can hold, because whenever I squeeze them out, I see quite a lot of water coming out residually from the base, which shows. They hold water very well. Very nice. Okay, I'm gonna go away. I'm gonna wash my face and wash out this humongous brush. And I will see you guys for the post shave. I'll be right back. Hey guys, it's post shave time. Man, that was a good shave. Okay, let's get to the post shave now. So like I said, my post shave is going to be the matching splash by Otter. This is the Jungle Warrior splash. Contains a tiny bit of alcohol. The smell of alcohol for me isn't present much at all, which is what I like. Wonderful. That was awesome. Rinse the hands a bit here. Okay, that's our shave today, guys. Fantastic shave, as ever, with Noble Otter soaps and the Karve razors. I really enjoy them. I understand I work for the company, but I enjoyed them long before I worked for the company. So let's do a recap on what I used today. Our soap of choice was Jungle Warrior by Noble Otter. I believe this is sold out pretty much everywhere now. We did have some left over on the Karve website, but I believe they've been taken pretty quickly once I announced that. Fantastic, really, really enjoyed this. The scent of this is, like I said, I would describe like a spicy fougere. It's a fougere, it's quite powdery as well, which is very interesting. You don't normally get that with a fougere, so if you can pick this up secondhand, I would. I still see quite a lot being sold secondhand, so I'd look for it and you'd probably be able to get it. My razor of choice today was the Karve Shaving Co. Christopher Bradley in aluminum or aluminium with an SBC plate, and the blade inside that was a first use Gillette Nacet, and my brush of choice was the very, very large, I'm going to call it Abyss Custom by TurnnShave here. The really nice handle, you can see how wonderful that knot is. I mean, it's difficult for me to put into words really quite how soft that is, but it is truly a wonderful, wonderful knot. And our post shave was the matching splash to the soap, the Jungle Warrior splash. I'd love a tiny bit of menthol in here, but preferences for different people, you know, not everyone likes mentholated aftershaves. But yeah, that's our shave today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you're new around here and haven't yet subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you consider doing so. Apart from that, today is Tuesday. Have a good remainder of your week, and my name is Jack, your host from the Virtual Grim Room. Goodbye for now.